Today I'll walk you through how I built some super simple storage shelves in my storage closet using just a few leftover 2x4s and some scrap OSB. It's basic storage and a quick project, but I'll cover some important points such as drilling into the wall with or without a stud and using the proper size anchors and screws for the right load. These are going right next to my storage bin rack, and if you're interested in building yourself one of those, check out my other video where I show you how to build any size tote rack that you'd like. But let's get right into it. I used 2x4s for the wall supports, but again, this is just because it was left over. You can use 2x2s as well if you want to add a little bit more space, but I used 3 of them per shelf, some OSB or OSB board for the shelf tops, 3-inch Deckmate screws as the main fasteners, Fisher's Duo Power drywall anchors for areas without studs. These are my absolute favorite drywall anchors in terms of ease of use. The Huepar 4x360 laser level to make sure everything lined up perfectly. The Walabot DIY2 to locate studs and make sure that I wasn't drilling into any hidden wires or pipes where my stud finder just isn't finding a stud. That's really all you need, plus the basic tools of a drill, saw, and measuring tape. Outside of that, you don't need anything crazy. I used a self-leveling laser level to line everything up. This one projects a full 360-degree line around the room, making it super easy to mark out all 3 shelf heights and ensure that they were perfectly even from one wall to another. You don't want it lopsided or leaning forward or backwards, but if you don't have a laser, a standard 3 or 4 foot level will still get the job done just fine. Just measure the distance you want or need between the shelves and then simply mark the wall where you want your support or your 2x4 to go. But keep in mind your shelf top will likely be around a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, so don't forget to account for this if you're cutting it close like I did. After marking where I want my shelves to go, I used the Walabot DIY2 to find my studs. This thing's great because it doesn't just find wood and metal, it can actually show you what's inside the wall, including pipes and electrical wires. So I ran it across the areas where each 2x4 would go, and I marked the stud locations. But anywhere I didn't hit a stud and I planned to use wall anchors, I needed to make sure that there was nothing else behind the walls. And now it's time to secure our supports to the wall. If you're using 2x4s or 2x2s for your support and drilling into drywall like me, a 3-inch to 3.5 inch long screw is recommended. Your screw should sink at minimum 1 inch into solid material. In this case, that would be the stud or an anchor. Keep in mind that the screw has to pass through the drywall and 2x4 to get to that stud. Any length shorter would be jeopardizing the max weight it can hold. If you're drilling into a stud, each screw should be able to support about 80 to 100 pounds. My shelf lengths are only about 25 inches wide by 30 inches long, and they're built with a very specific purpose. It's to hold these dollies and just a few random items. So my supports only have 2 to 3 total screws, and that will be more than enough. But depending on what you plan on putting on your shelves, you may need more. I used 3-inch Deckmate screws, but that's just because I had them on hand. If you're just building this inside your garage or storage or somewhere climate controlled, you can use exterior screws, wood screws, really anything but drywall screws. I have one area that needs an anchor, and I personally like these Fisher Duo Power anchors. There are a lot of different kinds out there, and the important thing is that you use one and have it secured to more than the drywall. I pre-drilled the support into place, then used the drill bit to put the hole exactly where I needed it in the wall and the wood, then removed it, inserted the anchor, and secured the 2x4 back like normal. Here's a quick rule on determining which size anchor you need. The length of your screw should be equal to your anchor length plus the fixture thickness plus 1 screw diameter. In this case, that means that the 3-inch screw should pass through my drywall, through the 2x4 support, and through the anchor approximately 1 screw diameter. If your anchor is too large, the tip of the screw won't protrude out and it won't operate properly. So in this case, the smaller anchor is actually what's needed because that's going to allow the screw to pass through it by about 1 diameter. And once these are up, it's time to cut my boards. Simply measure the length and width that you need. I used the laser level and a circular saw to cut out my pieces. These simply rest on top of the supports, and that was it. Instant shelves. Again, I do use OSB here, but if you have a different type of wood that you want to use, it will certainly be stronger. But like I said, I'm not putting much weight on here, so this works just fine. And I did secure them into the 2x4s with just a couple of small screws. That way they don't slide out when I'm pulling something out. But that's it. Simple, sturdy shelves that took just a few hours to build. They hold plenty of weight and really help the storage closet get organized. Hopefully this video gives you a few ideas and the confidence to build your own. Reach out anytime with questions or concerns, and have a great day.